So here in front of me is a work by Schanck, who was a French astronomer and mathematician in the 16th century. So we're in the 1500s here with this, just to start off. And this book was published in 1532, and it is called the Promathesis. And what it is essentially is a treatise on mathematics. So we see a lot of different types of math being used in order to map things and find out distances and whatnot. So yes, you will see a lot of familiar calculations in here because we do see a lot of trigonometry. That's really all they had at this point. Isaac Newton was not in his chemistry lab making a mess of things yet, so there was no calculus so to calculate distances or anything like that. So all we have here are triangles and circles, very simple arithmetic and mathematics in order to do that. So just to show you a few of the illustrations that are part of this book, here on one of the first pages, we see Schanck right here with all of his little instruments. We see an astrolabe right there, which was used to calculate distance on land based on the stars. And we see an engraving of Urania here, who is actually the muse of astronomy. So we see them here having a little conversation and looking at the heavens with this big ancillary sphere. That's what this little sphere is called here. There were instruments also modeled after it that you will see in a lot of other illustrations at this time and in museums. That's what this little thing is here. It's mapping the cosmos out. And yes, they're looking up at the heavens there. That's what it is meant to symbolize. So just flipping through this, I'm going to turn big page here. We start to see our triangles here. And here we have a guy who is literally falling out of a tower. He is so eager to measure the height of this tower on the right-hand side here. And the instrument here that he is holding is called a carré. In French, it means square. And it was used to calculate heights of things and distances using the Pythagorean theorem primarily. And we see another gentleman here at the bottom with the measuring his triangles, trying to craft them. And just to show you one last thing that is a part of this book, we see a lot of early illustrations rather of scientific instruments. So here we have compasses, astrolabes. These are really compasses here. And a lot of different instruments, whether in theory, whether in practice, whether they existed already, that were used primarily for navigation and to colonize in reality. So we have both of these things here we see being the result of science and learning. One is more for knowledge's sake, the other is for a darker purpose. But yes, we do see a lot of navigational tools here. And whether they exist in theory, whether they are used in practice, Schanck does talk a lot about theoretical instruments in these works as well that weren't necessarily used at that time. But we are seeing a mix of both things here. And it is a very interesting treatise to look at in the 16th century.